Have you ever wondered why a country with so much crude oil still imports gasoline, or why a nation with vast farmland imports basic food items like rice? It sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? This is the reality for Nigeria, a country rich in resources yet heavily reliant on import. Today, we are diving deep into this economic puzzle. We will explore why Nigeria, Africa's largest economy, find itself in this situation, from oil and gas to agriculture and manufacturing. Stick around because understanding this is key to unlocking the immense business potential that lies within the country. Let's start with the big one, oil. Nigeria is Africa's largest oil producer with massive reserves of crude oil. You think this will mean cheap and abundant fuel for everyone, right? Well, not exactly. The problem is Nigeria exports most of its crude oil but lack the refinery capacity to turn that crude into finished products like petroleum, diesel, and kerosene. For decades, the country refineries have been in state of despair, operating far below their potentials or not at all. The forces Nigeria to do something that seems completely backward. It sells its crude oil on the international market and then buys back the refined much more expensive. Petroleum products, it's selling like cocoa bean for a low price, only to buy back expensive chocolate bars made from this same bean. This cycle not only drains the country's foreign exchange reserves, but also make the price of fuel at the pump vulnerable to global oil prices and currency fluctuations. The current launch of the Dangote refinery is a game changer, but it will take time to fully meet the nation's demands and reverse decades of import dependency. The core issue has always been a lack of investment and maintenance in critical infrastructure. Now let's talk about food. Nigeria has a massive agricultural potential with about 70% of its land being arable. The climate is perfect for growing a huge variety of crops. Yet, for years, the country has been one of the world's largest importer of rice. Why? A few key reasons. First, for many years, local rice farming was dominated by small-scale farmers using traditional methods, which resulted in low yields. The quality of locally milled rice also struggled to compete with the polished, well-packaged foreign brands that consumers preferred. Government policy have tried to tackle this. For example, closing the borders to rice importation was a bold move designed to force Nigerians to consume locally produced rice and stimulate domestic production. And it did work to an extent. Local rice production has surged, and we've seen major investment in large-scale rice milling. However, challenges remain. The cost of production is high due to poor infrastructure like bad roads, which makes it expensive to transport goods from the farm to the market. There is also lack of access to affordable financing, modern equipment, and high-yield seeds for many farmers. So while Nigeria is on the path to self-sufficiency in rice, the journey is far from over. And the high cost of local rice is still a major issue for the average consumer. It's not just rice either. The same story applies to other products like palm oil, which Nigeria was a leading exporter of in the 1960s, but now imports to meet local demands. Moving on to the manufacturing sector, let's take a look at products that's fundamental to construction and development cement. Nigeria actually has a success story here that offers a blueprint for other industries. Just over a decade ago, Nigeria was a net importer of cement, spending hundreds of millions of dollars annually to bring it in. The country has abundant limestone reserves, the primary raw material for cement, but production capacity was low. Then, the government implemented a powerful policy called the Backward Integration Policy. This policy made it very difficult and expensive to import cement, while simultaneously offering massive incentives for companies to invest in local productions. The result was transformative. Companies like Dangote, Cement, BUA, and Lafarge invested billions of dollars to build state-of-the-art manufacturing plants across the country. In just a few years, Nigeria went from being a net importer to being self-sufficient in cement and even started exporting to neighboring countries. This success story shows that with the right policies and commitment to local investment, Nigeria can absolutely turn the tide on importation. However, this success hasn't been replicated across the board. Many other manufactured goods like textiles to electronics to car parts are still overwhelmingly imported. The challenges are familiar: unreliable power supply, which forces companies to spend a fortune on generators, poor transport infrastructures, and a lack of skilled labor in some specialized areas. The cost of doing business remain high, making it difficult for local products to compete with cheaper alternatives from Asia. So, what does all this mean for you? Whether you are an entrepreneur, an investor, or just someone interested in the future of Africa, it means one thing: opportunity. Every single one of these challenges represents a massive business opportunity: the lack of refinery capacity. There is an opportunity for investment in modular refineries and petrochemical industries. The gaps in this food supply chain, that's an opportunity for businesses in modern farming, food processing, logistics, and packaging. Think about it: creating a high-quality, well-branded local rice that can compete on the shelf with any foreign brands, or developing a cold storage logistic company to reduce post-harvest losses. The manufacturing sector is wide open. The success of the cement industry can be a model for others. Imagine a similar revival in the textile industry. Nigeria has a vibrant fashion scene. Most of the fabric is imported. There is a huge market for locally produced high-quality textiles. The same goes for furniture, electronics assembly, and so much more. The key is to identify a gap and provide a solution. The Nigerian government is actively encouraging local production through various policy and incentives. There is a growing buy Nigerian sentiment among the population. Consumers are increasingly willing to support local brands if the quality and price are right. The challenges of infrastructure and power are real, but they are also being addressed, albeit slowly. For the savvy entrepreneur, navigating these challenges is part of the business model. Finding innovative solutions like using renewable energy to power your factory can give you a competitive edge. The market is huge. With over 200 million people, the domestic demand alone is staggering. Succeeding in Nigeria means you can succeed anywhere. In conclusion, Nigerian import paradox is a complete issue born from the history of underinvestment in critical infrastructure and reliance on raw material imports. The gaps in the market are vast, and the opportunity for innovation and growth are immense. Solving this problem isn't just good for the business, it's essential for the economic future of Nigeria and the continent. If you found this analysis insightful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the African economy. Don't forget to hit the subscribe notification, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What should you think hold the most promise for Nigeria? See you in the next video. Bye.